Hello, everybody. Welcome to Do It Yourself with Barbie Travels. And this is our part 3 of our French fry bar. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to make the actual sauce in the canisters that's going to be displayed on the French fry bar. So, the things that we're going to need, let me just show you guys real quick. This is what we're going to be making. Sorry for the lighting. It's starting to get kind of dark. Okay, so anyway, the canisters look like this. And it has like tomatoes or salsa, red onions, sour cream, and some olives. So we're going to show you how to work that today with these supplies for these French fries that we just did on part 2. And so we have our canisters that I showed you how to do on part 1. You know, some scrapbook paper, and you guys just wrap it up and hot glue it together at the seams. And then we need some Elmer's glue or white glue. We need some pastel chalks. We're going to use greens. I like these 2 shades of green. This is for the guacamole. Then we have oranges, like orange, burnt orange, and then we have a reddish orange, and then we have a yellow orange, and then we have a brown. And we're going to make some nacho sauce and some cheese sauce. Then we have a stick pin here, a push pin. And I advise, if you guys are underage, please get supervision to do this project, because it is not nice when you're going to hurt yourself on accident, or because we're going to be using a glue gun as well. And you know, you need to be supervised. That's it. That's all I got to say. So, you need a brush. You also need some little bottle caps. We have some water in one of these bottle caps. And then we have some shredded toilet paper. Okay, and we put that in there in that little bowl there. Alright, so that's all the supplies that we need to get this started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to shred this up. And these are like little teeny pieces, like this, like so. And we're going to add a little bit of water just to soak it up, not a whole bunch. It gets really wet fast, so we don't need the whole thing. And we're going to kind of mix that up a little bit because it's super wet. And we're going to chop it up a little bit there. And try to do a little bit harder, and it kind of tears up a little bit as it gets wetter and wetter and soaks more. Okay, there, it's perfect. See that? And we're going to pull it apart. Now we're going to add a little bit of glue to it. Just a little, just a drop. We're only doing a little bit. If you're doing like a bigger project, like making a whole big bowl of guacamole, or other things that are green, other fake food. This is how I do my faux foods, everybody. Yes, I do. I start off with this. And we got that all mixed in well with the glue. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, still looks pretty good here. It's tearing apart nicely. Okay. So we're going to take the lighter green and the push pin. And when we're using our little pastel chalks like this, you know, we got to scrape it off. So we're going to scrape a little bit off at a time. A little bit goes a long way. I just wanted to get that little guacamole color of green, which will be lovely. Lovely, darling. So we're going to start with this first because I want it to kind of soak in really good before we go to the canisters. Okay, and then we're going to put that one back. We're going to add a little bit of a darker green. Just a little bit. It's really dark. Okay, then we're going to stir this up. And if it's like the guacamole color you like, perfect. See that? Look how that just turned that beautiful green color like guacamole. Then we're going to add in some little red chunks of paper that we did on part 2. That's for the tomatoes. And a little bit of white chunks from the other previous video for onions. We're going to stir that up. Look at that. See that? Isn't that cool? Sorry, I'm bumping the phone there, you guys, the video. Okay, now we're going to set this to the side. We got that looking kind of good for some guacamole. I love guacamole. Just love it. Okay. The next step is we're going to work on our canisters. So the canisters we're going to do right now is they're hollow. Nothing's inside. And what I do is I usually take like a little bit of tissue paper and I stuff it down in there to the bottom as far as possible, so it won't come through. And you can stick some more in there if you want. You know, try to get it to a different level. I'm not trying to fill it all the way up to the top. I'm just trying to make the bottom solid. So we're going to push this in like this. Then we're going to tear this part off. We don't need all that. Push it down. Now this is where the hot glue comes in handy. We're going to fill the cavity in like this to the top. And it dries really quickly. So we're going to set that to the side. Be careful. Do not burn yourself. See that? It's up there to the top. See that? Okay. Now we're going to let this sit to the side. Let that dry. Try to set it up. There we go. Alright. And we're going to do this one too. Let that one sit and dry as well. So that's how I did my little sour cream one. I added white paint on top of the white, on top of that canister, and it dried as sour cream, which is really cool. And hold on one second, you guys. That stringy hot glue is gets on my nerves sometimes. But it's not hot right now. It's just stringy. Stand up, buddy. Look at that. See, the string is trying to pull up. See? Look. It's like magic, huh? Okay, here we go. I'm standing up again. I just don't want the hot glue to run out on the side because it will dry like it's coming out like a wet look. Okay, there we go. Come on, stand up. How embarrassing. All right. You know what, buddy? You're about to win. When you're messing with miniatures, this happens, but it's normal. Okay. Let's stand that one up. Stand up. See what I mean, you guys? Haha. My good land. Okay. Had to do a trick on that. Okay. So anyway, I did these two previously before we started the video because I wanted it to dry in advance. Nice and hard. See that? Let me make sure my lighting is up here. Okay. Alright, so since we already did this, this is going to be for our nacho cheese. So we're going to get the nacho cheese together. We're going to use some Mod Podge. And then we're going to use some, just a little bit at a time, you guys. We're not going to go crazy. And then I'm going to add some of the orange. Just a little bit of the orange because the orange is really dark. See that? And it sprinkles just a little bit. That's when we take our little push pin and scrape a little bit. It goes a long way, you guys. Let's try this one. Nacho cheese. That looks like nacho cheese. We can make a lot of that yellow. And I'm not adding the red in yet because I'm going to see how it turns out first. And you kind of stir it around and see how you like. How you like me now. Makes it goes by much easier. See it's starting to turn orange a little bit. I'm going to add some more. And add some more yellow. So we're just mixing colors. That's what we're doing, you guys. And then make it to the way how we like it. The shade that we like. Okay. Okay, then we're going to go ahead. Oh, this is starting to look good. Oh, yeah. Look at that. See that color? I don't know if you guys can see that. Hope you guys can. But it's turning like a nice yellowish. That looks like kind of like a yummy block cheese. Let's try a little bit of darker orange. So I want it to look really dark. Okay, there we go. That's why I was saying a little bit at a time, because you don't want to make it too dark because it's harder to get it lighter, you know. Not if you add more Mod Podge, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of Mod Podge that you don't really need, and you really don't want it to go there, you know. Now you guys can see the color much better. I'm looking in the camera. It looks really good. Okay. All right, so that's the orange. Now what we're going to do is take the brush, wipe around in the orange, and we're going to take our cylinder that's dry, and we're going to paint the top of it. See that? And do it again. Goodness, I keep bumping my phone. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. Okay. And when this dries, it's going to dry like a pretty color. Sometimes it turns out being a little darker than when you actually paint it, but that's okay, because that's the color and the magic of using pastels. And so we're going to keep it like that for now. We're going to let this dry. I don't want it to fall over, so I'm leaning it up against the pastel chalks there. Okay, so the next one we're going to work on is, let me wipe off my brush, dip it in here, clean it. But next thing we're going to do, we're going to put the guacamole in the cylinder. I like this bigger one here that I did for the guac. So we're going to take the guacamole, scoop it on top, and then there we go. We're going to let that dry. See that? Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Can add a little seasoning to that too. But then you're going to let that dry. You're going to add on a coat of Mod Podge afterwards. And I'm using the Mod Podge matte, because I don't want it to really shine on it. And it's all good. So we're going to use a little bit of Mod Podge. And we're going to dab it on there. Dab it on there. Do the dab. And when it dries, it's going to be just fabulous, you guys. It's going to be so cool. Like a little bit of tomato seasonings in there. We're going to let that dry. It's going to take about, for the toilet paper method to dry, take about an hour, maybe less. Depending on what the weather's like, you can take it outside and let it dry out there. I was really doing a lot of my foods like in the summertime, which was really cool because out here it was like 105, 101. And so outside when it was drying, it like dried like within a half an hour. That was awesome. It cut out a lot of time. So that's what you can do with that. And you can make other colors as well. You can do other cylinders. You can do like a nice little yellow cheese sauce, which is, you know, something that we're going to go ahead and try. We're going to use it in the orange because it's all gone now. I don't need that much. We're just going to do yellow, like a nice cheesy butter sauce to go on top of those fries. Wow. Woo, it's so nice when you ain't got to worry about calories. This is the way to go. Paperlicious, you guys. And you just wipe it on down there. And then we're going to go ahead and stir it on up. This is so nice right here. It's going to be perfect. That nice little yellow texture there. And that's the perfect color tone I like right there. It's a little lighter than the other orange that we did earlier. See the other orange right there? It's actually really orange. So that's okay. That's a nacho cheese. We're going to use this. It's a little lighter. We did not put orange in this, the darker orange. We just used the yellow. Look at that color. And get it all up in there. I just do a little bit at a time. I work with it because I don't like really throwing away Mod Podge, because you know it gets kind of costly after a while. You'd be like, okay, I'm trying to save all this. Now you see I have an air bubble, which is like an empty bubble there. When it dried, it didn't dry evenly, so that's okay. We can fix that. We'll just add more hot glue in there in that bubble. Let it sit. Let that dry, and then we'll add more to that. So that's the sauces. Isn't that cool? And then let's check out the first one we did. I'll show you how that looks. Goodness, this little string's getting on my nerves. Okay, there we go. Ooh, my tweezers. That's what I need. Okay, here we go. See that? It's almost dry. But look at that. See, it's orange. And you can do like another coat as well for that nacho cheese. And then that will go on to the nacho cheese bar. Over here to the cheese. To the fry bar. See that? We can go ahead and glue that on there. And that's what we're going to go ahead and do while we're waiting for those to dry. Put it all on the bottom. Remember, there's toilet paper at the bottom, so it's going to stand up nicely when we glue it on. But your sauces can get really creative. Whatever your heart desires, make it. You know? See that? I'm just going to add another coat to that. And I'll show you pictures. Thank you guys for watching. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell for more do-it-yourself projects with Barbie.travels. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching what I do and how I do it, and much more to come. Welcome, 2020.